We're starting?
Yes.
My mom is trying to join.
Oh, I think I see her. 1 second. Okay. I believe everyone who was in the waiting room is now in. So I just wanted to say good evening or good morning, depending on where you are. I wanted to introduce everyone to part three of this series, and I'll let Poetry take it away just to introduce everyone to the project that we are hosting.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Sigo. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And this is the third episode for Rinayung. Rinayung is the magical boat of Bantugan, who is the main character of the Rangin. And the Rangin is one of the longest epic that is still unwritten in the Philippines, particularly taken care of by the Maranao people of Lebanon and the Maguindanao. So this project is made possible by the Coalition of Theaters of Color, by the City Council of New York discretionary funding, and particularly by District 25 Councilman Daniel Drum and the New York City Department of Culture Affairs. And tonight we are going to be featuring the centuries old heritage that met long time ago and now aligned again in diaspora. So particularly, Philippines was part of the Sriwijaya Empire of India during the 4th to 10th century. And coming to New York, we are going to align again with that particular heritage. So tonight we have with us Kamala Cesar, who is the founder and artistic director of Lotus Dance and Music. We have Siti Aria Azkalani Obeso, who is actually at 10 o'clock, at 8:30 a.m. in the Philippines, direct from Davao City, Southern Philippines. And we have Smita Goswami, who is with her mother, Sobra Goswami. And later on, you will hear stories in diaspora from daughter, mother, and also I would like to the word right now of the young people is shout out. I would like to shout out for Thomas Buckner. Where are you, Tom? Of Mutable Music. And we have with us Dr. Angie Cruz. Also, we have Malaika, who is actually one of the co-executive director of Kinding Sindaw. And I can see more people there just to say, let me see. We have members of Kinding Sindaw. We have Yusuf. And I think we'd have to start. And tonight you're gonna see the epicenter of culture. And we are talking about culture that has traveled and also the epicenter within us as the carrier of that culture. And you will see that later with Kamala Cesar, how she beautifully converts that epicenter within her own person. Thank you very much. Take it away, Vivian. In Vivian's camera, she's Malaika Kianyo.
Oh yeah. So before we actually start the video, I guess I wanted to have Sita and also Kamala and also Siti, if they can kind of explain how they maybe first started dancing and how they're currently dancing in the midst of, COVID-19. So I guess we'll start with Sita.
Hi, hello, I'm Sweta. I'm from Queens, New York, and I've been dancing for many years, performing on stage for about 30 years. So it's part of my daily weekend routine. So once COVID-19 hit, it's a difference of how do you feel maintain what you're used to for so many years doing, being connected to your culture. So it's very interesting to see as we all are affected with our workplace, with our passion, with our cultures, how we can find a way to digitally connect with each other in these times and what we're used to and help each other, support each other. So I found that a lot of these performances are through Zoom or a way to connect, just finding a balance of what works best for everyone. I think everybody's different in what is best for them, but this is also a great platform for us to spend the time and share our culture, what sometimes we can't even reach our audiences locally. So this is a great resource as well, where we can globally have more of a presence, of a voice, of a way for people to network and reach out to each other. So it's very interesting to find our footing and what works best for us to connect with everybody during these times, especially with the arts.
Um, and then I will ask, the same question to Kamala, how you're able to, as, director of a Lotus and music and dance organization, how you're able to continue on with that work.
Hi, yes, thank you so much for including me in this. I started Lotus Music and Dance 30 years ago. I began dancing Bharatanatyam when I was in college, living in Berkeley, California. I was very fortunate to meet Bala Saraswati, who is one of India's greatest Bharatanatyam dancers, and she became my teacher and my guru. And since 1972, I basically followed her wherever she was teaching and eventually went to India and studied with her there for 6 months each time I went. And right before she passed away, I had the opportunity to study with her in India. And she had expressed the interest of wanting to have her style represented in New York City, because New York was the center of dance. And so I told her I could help, start something. And so I started the Bala Saraswati School in New York, which eventually then became Lotus Music and Dance. I was holding Bharatanatyam classes in a studio on 27th Street. It belonged to the famous tap choreographer Henry Latang. And he eventually went off to San Francisco to put up a Broadway show. And so the studio became available. And once we took over the studio, it just began, people just kept showing up, just by word of mouth, that there was a studio where there was Indian dance happening. Um, many many other dancers started coming and saying they would like to teach their classes there and have an opportunity to perform and so on. And that's basically how it started. It started out of a need for traditional artists to have a place where they could teach and perform and share their art. So here 30 years later, it's still thriving. And thanks to Potri and her group and being so strong in keeping her tradition alive, it's so inspiring to work with people who understand how important culture is. And I have to say that is what Bala taught me. I'm half Mohawk Indian, but I did not know I was Mohawk until I was in high school. My mother was a product of the Indian boarding school system. She was put in the school when she was 5 years old, and they were not allowed to speak their language, and they were taught that being Indian was bad. And so basically she was ashamed, and she didn't tell us we were Mohawk. And I didn't know until I was in high school. So here I was, not really understanding what that meant, not knowing what your culture is. And what Bala taught me through the dance was how important it is for the human spirit to have that. And through the dance, I began to like really cultivate that in myself. And the dance became that means of expression of who I was as a human being. And eventually I was able to connect with my Mohawk heritage. I went up to the reservation to meet my mother's family and became connected with the traditional Mohawks up there. And that began to blossom as well. So it's coming full circle with being part of a community of other artists who understand that this is really, it is, you are the epicenter of your world. And through your tradition and your culture and through dance, you can keep that alive. And so I applaud all of you who are part of this and hope that we can all keep working together.
All right, thank you. And then I'll also ask CT to speak a little bit. I know she's over in the Philippines, so can you speak a little bit more about what's happening there?
Before City, I just want to say that Kamala Caesar is one of my fairy godmother in New York, and it is the first home of Kinding Sindaw. Lotus Dance and Music was the home of Kinding Sindaw. That's where we grow actually. I met Kamala as a solo performer before during all these AAPI, Asia American Pacific Islander shows. And then she will tell me at the backstage, you're a Filipino, yes. I'm a Filipino. I said, no, you're Indian. You said, oh, yeah, I'm also Indian. What I mean is she's dancing Bharatanatyam. I didn't realize later that she was telling me she was a Mohawk. So such a beautiful story where we aligned and become truly sisters. Thank you, Kamala.
And then to CT, if you can just speak a little bit more about how you're dancing or teaching over in the Philippines, how you're able to connect maybe with your students.
You can say it in dialect. You can Bisaya. Pwede ka mag-Binisaya. Ako mag-translate.
Yes, patre. Start na ko?
Oh, yeah.
Start na ka, ma.
I'm Iria Sangkulas Kalani Ubiso. I'm 60 years old. Nagsugod ko tudlo dire sa Philippines sa among traditional dance. Gikan sa akong pamilya hantod sa lain tao. So sa pagsugod na ko sayaw murag duha pa ko ka tuig kay ang akong inahan sa ka dancer sa traditional dance na gitawag namo og pangalay, matawag nga murag classical dance sa amo ang tribo. Nakatong ko sa iya duha pa ka tuig ang akong edad hantod karon na tresyo na nako sa iya. So nalipay po ang
Translate sa ako. I learned this dance that is transmitted by my family. And by the way, the Taos people is coming from the Tausog means people of the strong current. And Siti learned the dance since he was 2 years old from her mother, and her mother learned the dance from her grandmother. So it's transmitted through tradition by through the family.
And then pag tudlo na ko sa akong mga apo, nahimo na mo ang isa ka grupo dire sa Philippines, murag natawag na mo og community group sa Tausog tribe. Antod nailhan mi sa tanan-tanan o mga performer. Antod ako na-invite na ko sa nagkadindiin nga mga lugar o nakashare na pod ko sa akong talent sa lain-lain nga tribo o na-invite na ko sa uban nga mas kay asa nga lugar tungod sa akong talent sa sayaw. Pasalamat pod ko sa akong talent nga gipakita sa ila nga nakat-on sila, na-appreciate po nila ang akong talent. Antod nga, naay tao nga hintabang, naay uban nga nakat-on nga hintabang, antod nabuo na ko akong grupo, pero ang akong grupo karon diri sa Pilipinas, wala lain tao, kundi ako rang pamilya, gikan sa akong anak, akong apo, hantod sa akong apo sa tuhod. Gopotre.
So as they were they transferred, or they were kind of displaced in Davao City, they were able to or City was able to develop a group from her family, from her children, grandchildren, and now her apu sa tuhod, which means great grandchildren. And so through dances, they were able to represent the Tausug people in different parts of the Philippines and also different parts of the world. And through the dance, they were able to bring the presence of the Tausug people, their story, and she was able to do it by the help of the people who came to get training from her and get all those financial support to put up the family, or her children, her children's children, and her grandchildren into continuing the tradition.
Okay. All right.
Sa pagkakaroon, magpasalamat ko sa imo putre nga isa ka sa nakailas ako, nailang ko nimo na express nimo kung unsa ang kuan sa akong pagkatao, sa akong pamilya, o kaning akong talent nga napadayag nako sa tanan. Salamat kay sa imong napahibalo sa ila kung unsa gyud diingikan o unsa gyud ang amo ang tribo nga as a Tausug, o gitagaan nimo bili, o daghang kayong salamat sa imo putre.
So Lingling is saying she's very grateful that Kinding Sindaw is connecting with her and continually supporting the Tausug people, particularly her group, to continue the tradition. And in that, thank you also for joining us all the time, even though in this distance. We continually have lessons with Lingling. She has to wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning in the Philippines, so that Kinding Sindaw members can continually learn from her. Thank you.
All right. And then next, I guess since we were talking about how Kinding Sindaw members are able to learn from tradition bearers from the Philippines, I wanted to bring it over to Kinding Sindaw's dance captain, Diane, just to speak a little bit how maybe she first started dancing, why she continues to dance, and why she's labeled dance captain of Kinding Sindaw. Okay. I think you're still mute,
We
Diane.
can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. Hi, everyone. How are you? So I started with Kinding Sindaw when I was 15. So I'm, that's 20, well, a little over 25 years ago. And I wanted to learn at 15 years old. At the time, I had a lot of questions about my culture, my history, after growing up here and being raised in New York City in the Bronx. I was surrounded by other different cultures, and there wasn't any, in school, they don't teach you about, here in America, of course, they don't teach you about the real history of the Philippines. Or specifically Mindanao, where, my family lives. And so my mom and dad didn't have much to offer me as well, as far as, history wise. I mean, they can tell me just a general point of view. And for me, learning history through music and dance had a had I'm a more I guess visual and hands-on person. So I felt like I would learn about my history better if I can, you know, be able to internalize it through music and dance. And I had these questions at 16, and believe it or not, after my trip from Davao City, I came back with all these questions, and for some reason, I guess it was meant to be, I met Potri at a church in the Bronx. She performed for the Virgin Mary. It's a community, the Filipino community there celebrate Barangay Sang Berhen, which is the Virgin Mary of the community. And they invited Potri to perform, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's I feel like she had all these answers for me at the time, and she did. And I got involved right away. Actually, Malika was still a baby, and Pochi brought me up the stage, and she taught me the scarf dance with Malika. Actually, Malika taught me the scarf dance, and Malika, I think, was only 2 years old, or not remembering how old I think she was like a baby. She was a baby, and yeah, and there is so much to learn about Mindanao and its rich heritage, and to be part of it and to learn through all these years, and to internalize that into my life. It gave me so much more of that. It's not it's nothing that you can be bought. It's like something so enriching, beyond money, beyond anything. It's so enriching to understand where your culture comes from and the rich history behind it. So, I I kept dancing, I kept learning, and this is where I am, dance captain. I'm honored to be here, to be able to perform with Kinding Sindaw, to be able to have the teachings from our elders and from all the tradition bearers. And we have to continue that because it will be lost. And that's a privilege that and a blessing that I will never ever forget. And thank you so much.
Great, thank you. And then
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask if maybe Sweta's mom would like to speak a little bit about how maybe she has influenced her, or anything like that in regards to dancing.
Hello. Yeah.
Oh, maybe is she able to speak on?
Yeah, I think she can try talking.
Yeah. So
Can you hear her?
This is
Yes.
my name is Shubhra Goswami, and I have a group, Ranjuni Inc., which is based in New York. So
Oh, it's okay. The spotlight is on her.
And I have a group, Ranjuni Inc., which I used to teach in high school, science teacher, and I opened a multicultural group also. The students for different culture is to expose their culture, and also we found similarity among cultures. That's the best thing I got in the New York, is a multicultural place. And also my daughter initially started learning from me, and then she's a dance teacher of my group, and exploring Indian culture. Also, she had a ballet dance training from here also. So my group is a multicultural group. From American, Indian, and people from other countries also. They learn here, and we perform all over the place in India and abroad, and that's the thing. And best thing I like about this group is people are eager to learn and exchange their culture. We do food festival, we do cultural exchange of that. How do you celebrate this thing, that thing? So every culture it can express their own good thing in their culture. What you like about your culture? So I'm very glad that we got a platform here to explore our culture so that we don't feel like that we are in the abroad and losing all, like culture is our root. We grew up in that culture and we can bring it in here so people can understand and relate the good, take the good things about our culture. Like in high school, my principal told me that I studied biology, and principal told me that teach students how to say how to keep a distance all and at the same time you express your love. You don't have to touch people all the time. Do namaste and also exchange their culture, so different they can grow their friendship instead of
Yes.
fooling around. So I am very glad that I can explore my culture in this country. And,
Okay.
thank you very much for
Mhm.
giving me opportunity to talk about this in this program. Thank you.
No problem. So I think we've introduced a lot of the speakers. I wanted to turn over the rest of the night to Jamila, who was able to record and edit some of the dances from Tausuk and also India. So Jam, if you want to speak a little bit about this video and then just share it whenever you get the chance.
Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. Good morning to people in the Philippines. I am Jamila Rose Del Prado Luneses. I'm a Kinding Sindaw member. I joined Kinding Sindaw in the late 2017. For this specific project, 5 episodes project, I directed, I shot, I edited, I am one of the producers. I also performed in this project as a martial artist and dancer. I think this is a project that is a new venture for me because it's something that I've never done before. I've done a couple of films relating to culture, but most of those are related to my hometown in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And I've also done documentaries about it, also music videos, promotional films, but this is something very different, and it's also relating to my culture as a Filipino and something that I have not learned in school, that's not written in history books. So this project means a lot to me, and I do think that during the shortest time we were given to do the project, I am very proud that we have done it successfully. So without further ado, I will be sharing you the episode 3 of this project that will show Tausug, people of the current, and also India. There will be 2 dances from India, and after each dance, there will be an interview. So I'm going to be playing it right now. Here we go. Let me see here. Share screen. There. Share. Okay.
Hello, Queens. Queens, New York. Namaste. Assalamualaikum. And good afternoon, good day, and good evening. How are you? This is the episode where you're going to see two, um, two classical dances from India. One is from the East, the Odissi, and later on you're going to see from the South, which is Bharatanatyam. So, and why we have this today? Because we would like to tell the world that even though we have undergone this crisis of COVID-19, you know, it says epicenter of the epicenter, and that's Queens. And if you're positive, you will say, you're positive. Gonna turn that positive into the epicenter of the epicenter, which is Queens, but the epicenter of culture and tradition. And tonight, this is one of the proof, the evidence, how Queens, how the epicenter will go back blooming again, will be showing that resiliency because of the culture and tradition. And for us, Kinding Sindaw, Rinayung came to the epicenter, no, to see how positive it is, how positive of that the culture and tradition brought back life, because we did not really left home. We brought home with us, just like Rinayong brought us here, and we met. So tonight, can you kindly tell our audience your name and what group you have?
Hello, I'm Sweta Goswami. I am Director of Dance in Ranjani Inc. And it's a cultural center for Indian performing arts where we have singing, dancing, drama, poetry, anywhere that somebody can contribute. We love to share our culture with others.
We can remove our mask now, maybe.
Okay. Today I'll be doing two dances. This one is Odissi dance from eastern part of India, from Odisha. And the dance is wishing well-being for all. It's an auspicious prayer and to Goddess Durga to eradicate this virus which has harmed so many people. We hope to be powerful against it and wishing peace and prosperity upon all. So we hope you enjoy it.
And can you tell our audience how the meaning of what you're wearing and in relation to Odissi as a genre and a classical genre of the dance. And the dance that you did tonight, it's about the god Durga?
Yes, yes. And as I just mentioned, it's mentioning peace and prosperity for all. It's slaying evil. Goddess Durga has many forms to her, slaying evil, a mother goddess, beautiful goddess, so many various factors, but we wish for great health and she provides us strength to get through troubling times and wishing us good health as well. The costume that I'm wearing is typical of an Odissi costume. It's a pant sort of suit. It's a traditional costume. Costumes have changed since ancient times, but there's a basic genre and how it looks. There's a blouse, a fan. This is where a little bit of the modern day look, but it's still maintaining traditional aspect. The jewelry is silver. That's what they wear for Odissi dance in eastern India, in Odisha. And this crown, basically we're supposed to be dressing as a bride. So we get all adorned and pray for, try to look beautiful and have a beautiful dance and just feeling the devotion within to share with all. The crown is also symbolic of the top of a temple. This is the spire of a temple, and these are jasmine flowers symbolizing that as part of the costume. So basically just feeling good about what you're wearing, feeling nice and just wishing everyone peace and prosperity.
So please join us every day for 5 days. We are going to showcase to you how beautiful the epicenter of the epicenter presents the culture and tradition from different parts of the world. And it's the backbone, it's the nucleus, it's the nectar of prosperity and the beauty and the blooming of life from that, turning the word epicenter of the epicenter and turning the word positive into being positive. So join us in our episodes and presenting to you the story of Rinayong as Rinayong visited the epicenter of the epicenter. Since Sweta dance is about Durga, that brings prosperity and healing and peace, like slaying evil spirits, and the Durga, the mother Durga that nurtures life. We're gonna bring you to Mindanao. So this is, do you hear bells? So the bells, the tinonggong of the Tiboli people, is not a decoration. The purpose is to drive evil spirits away. So that's why when you hear that bells, don't disappear. That is, all these dances is not just dances. It brings the story of our life. You know, it's relating to nature, and it's relating to the internal spirit, what we would like to happen to our lives. So we would like to guard ourselves from negative energies. And it becomes very beautiful. It becomes ornamental, but it's not just ornament. It has its own beautiful meaning. But mind you, these are all in relation to preservation of life and dignity of the passing on. So let me see. And then the beads has its meaning, and the colors. It is related to Emuhan bird. Emuhan bird is supposed to be the messenger. It brings bad or good omen. We have to listen to the Emuhan bird. It is the, now you will say maybe the weather bureau, but it is sacred among the Tiboli people, because when the Emuhan bird sounds like this, it means the harvest is not good. So you have to preserve yourself because maybe there's a big storm coming. So, however, the Tiboli people translate that into beautiful colors. And we have to read those. You have to read the beauty that we see. They're not just decoration. It has a message in it. And the dances and the movement that we're seeing are not just because we would like to entertain. We do this in order to raise consciousness to the world, to the current generation, in order for us to be united and aligned into listening to Mother Nature and what it says, so that hopefully we will continue healing each other, will continue the message of peace. You know, like we are, the dances that we see, like for example, you can wear that hat. Slaong looks like beautiful decoration. This is usually worn in the fields, in the planting season. It is red because it reflects the spirit of the spirit and energy that hopefully with the ritual that is done, the dance, what we call this, Madal Suyu, the true dance, it will invite sunshine that is not too much to parts the earth during the sunny season, or it will ask the highest consciousness that please don't give us too much rain to flood, that is for the rainy season. So it reflects the seasons where the Tiboli people are. And then we brought that here to the epicenter of the epicenter to continue that ritual, even though we're far away from home. And so we're gonna go now to the South India dance. And stand by, wait a minute, we'll be dressing up. Ikat mo lang yun. Saan punta, Mami? Can you tell us about your dance today?
Yes, I just performed a Bharatanatyam dance from South India, origins, Tamil Nadu and neighboring states. Many consider it one of the, probably the oldest form of Indian classical dance. And it's a very traditional, ancient form of dance that obviously is adapted a little bit for modern times, but still considered ancient Indian classical dance. The dance I did is in praise of Lord Ganesha, who is often before any performance, we pray to Lord Ganesha for auspicious outcomes and to remove any obstacles. So during these, excuse me, coronavirus times, we're hoping that auspiciousness and good health and just well-being for all. So this is why we pray to Lord Ganesh to remove obstacles and bless us with good blessings and peace and prosperity.
So that's how tradition is coming from the ancient times is a living tradition that is very applicable anywhere. And it's very much needed, especially during these times of crisis and uncertainty when people start doubting themselves. You have to seek for something to anchor, and that tradition keeps us, what do you call this? Anchored. Keep us strong. Keep us hopeful. We always look forward that there's always sunrise to come out. It is because we have practiced this tradition that has been proven centuries and centuries ago that repeatedly dance is very essential. Right? I'm an essential worker myself. I'm a frontliner as a nurse. But what keeps me healed again and again every time I see a trauma of, seeing patient that you see that the trauma, the suffering that they have seen, and it ends up to, giving up the life on earth. That what is the rebirth that I always look at is the art, the beauty beyond it, the spirituality. And it's only, for me as a dancer, I think it is carried by that tradition that keeps you calm despite of chaos. And I have seen that in the practice of Bharatanatyam, very, very ancient, what do you call this, dance form that is connected to the path where you always seek the enlightenment. So, and being away from home and having this tradition as it is just telling queens that queens, you're always alive. Queens, if I always say this to myself, and actually this is what do you call this, the core value of why I'm heading Kinding Sindaw, which is Kinding means a movement and Sindaw means to spark a light. So for me, I never left home. We never left home because he brought home with us. And I always look at it that if we remember the resilience of our ancestors, we will never be conquered. We will never be conquered or dissuaded or discouraged by any negativities along the way. So we are in the epicenter of epicenter. Yeah, positive. Positive to life. Because we're in the epicenter of culture. Queens, the epicenter of culture. And thank you very much. Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. And that is how Rinayung traveled to the epicenter of the epicenter, along the way, making the flowers bloom because of the presence of life carried by tradition, particularly the classical dances and ritual dances. Thank you.
Thanks, Jam. So I wanted to, I know we're a little after 9:30. If anyone have any questions that they don't want to ask right now, feel free to ask us via Facebook or Instagram. We will send it over to the dancers and we'll reply back promptly. But I wanted to ask Potri to just close, and then I will introduce the next two episodes and events for the rest of the series.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I rumble too much, and it shows that it's not scripted. It's like my adjustment to the world. Actually, I've been so enclosed in my own world of uh, being a nurse and taking care of patients after patients, and all of a sudden I am outside the world and the work as a cultural worker, as a dancer, as a nurse, as an artist. So it's like an adjustment in my mind. So I hope you will take take that rumble with you as part of the season, the era of recovering from lockdown. And I would like to take. Can we have a photo? Can everyone be on the screen?
Yes, I
We
think
put on
a
everyone
bird view.
so we can have a nice souvenir that we can publish in Facebook.
Oh, I guess I have to ask everyone to show their video
And
again.
can you put yourself on video? Kamala, Tita Angie, everyone, Tom Wagner, can you come out in your video?
Um,
Tom, where's Kamala?
You went into her monitor and was going to turn it on.
I can't turn it on. It says the host has turned off my video.
Why don't you come sit with me? Be in the same room with me. This room, come on back. Or the host could turn on the video.
Okay. All right. How do you do this so that everyone will be on the screen?
Oh, I was just going to screenshot it on my
Can you
laptop.
screenshot it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you can screenshot it.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And we will just close this event with the salutation of Kinding Sindaw. In honor of our ancestors who created and transmitted this tradition to us, with open hearts, we'd like to take them in, mind, body, and soul. And with humility, we bow as we use it to empower us as we walk our path. And good night. Thank you. And please stand by. In a few days, we'll have our next episode. And I am so grateful to everyone, Kamala, Tam, Sweta, Subra, and everyone who attended tonight. Thank you. And may all the health and prosperity blessings with you. Thank you.
All right.
Assalamualaikum. Namaste.
তোমার ছবি দেখা যাচ্ছে